I cannot believe that. I'm genuinely starstruck by our absolute, well, not starstruck, but even numb and, petrified by our ability to lose a game. But then, right at the end, Danny McKelly, the referee from the Netherlands, and his assistant referees from the Netherlands, you just don't disallow that. It's finished in Serbia. Serbia 2, Portugal 2. Well, that, my friends, was a game that I don't think many will forget because it was thrilling. It was second half drama, to say the very least. So before we do get in that second half and review it, let's just quickly mention what happened in the first half. 2 brilliant Diogo Jota headers. Portugal in control, looking really good. Serbia's shooting was really wayward. We were looking comfortable, apart from a few, crosses we had to clear. But very, very good. Bernardo Silva looking excellent. And obviously Jota getting both goals. Very good goals. And you're thinking, great, we're going to see this out. This is going to be a nice, easy win to see us get into first place after 2 match days. Remember, there is a long way to go for these World Cup qualifiers, but it's important because the only team that automatically qualifies is first position, and then second goes into a qualifying into a playoffs. So we're thinking, okay, it's going to be all right. And I don't even know how this has happened. I mean, Jota had a great game in the first half, really well to outmuscle and get in behind Milenkovic. But I don't know what happened in the second half. I don't know what the Serbia manager said to those Serbia players. And I don't know what happened with us. Maybe we just took our foot off the gas, took it for granted or something. But we just looked so leggy. We looked so leggy and lethargic and just a bit unsure what to do. We didn't really have a plan B. And it was really like, we were deer in headlights. Once we had gone behind that 1 goal from Mitrovic, we were like, oh dear, we can't stop this. And we're just going to do everything we can to stop it. But realistically, we just didn't really have the best solution and the best, antidote to the problem. Oh my days. Okay, well, let's mainly focus on that second half because I did do my halftime review and that will be in the description. So go check that out, give it a like, share with your friends. But now we're doing our full-time review. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's start off with that goal for Serbia. It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare start to the second half. 30 seconds in and we already concede. I mean, defensively we were so good, but suddenly Serbia score out of nothing. So it was Ronaldo that scored at the end, and I'm going to get to that goal, but basically in this one it's an a goal back for Serbia, and it's, a goal is always big, especially for the home team. But when it's just after the second half begins, it gives a team momentum and it changed the complexion of the game massively. I mean, we just can't go out in that second half and just, be so easy to open up in that early part of the second half. We were cruising and suddenly, in a flash, that we're letting them back into the game. We can't be doing that. We really just couldn't stop Mitrovic, and it's a record-breaking goal for them, for Mitrovic, the all-time top scorer now, Alexander Mitrovic, and he just goes in, really, and gets a head on it to slide home and make it 2-1, and yeah, it's a nightmare, really, to see the goal come in on 46 minutes. So then you're thinking, right, we've got to just take our chances now and pull the game away from us. And I thought, I predicted 3-1 to Portugal. I thought we might be able to do that once we'd conceded and we can show some sort of a response. But we were trying to show a response, but it was just constant Serbia pressure that was just drowning us, that was pushing us down. We couldn't stop it and we couldn't find our own pressure. It was just absolutely incredible how the game swung and the momentum swung and we lost control of it. And it's really worrying to see that kind of change by conceding 1 goal. You know, our defensive record is pretty good. And with obviously the injury to Patricio, we've had to play Lops more often. But, you know, there's no doubt that Lops is a very good goalkeeper. And he's still very capable. But maybe it's Patricio that we need. I don't know. But I don't know how that game just kind of came out of us and went out the window a little bit. Against Azerbaijan, we were dominant. We should have scored more. And really, Azerbaijan didn't have, chances at all. And it was the case pretty much for that first half. But the second half, Serbia just came out a completely different animal. They were hungry for it, and they just looked a different team. So they get their goal from Mitrovic, and then we have a couple of half chances. Bruno Fernandes, who, again, wasn't quite on his game tonight. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the closeness of games. We played on Wednesday and now playing again on Saturday. But ultimately, it's not good. We need to be sharper and we need to be more consistent in 90 minutes. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, Bruno has a shot from a tight angle and, you know, he's really quite out wide and goes for it, but it's well blocked by the goalie, goes out for a corner kick. And, you know, Bernardo Silva was pretty consistent in that game. Obviously, Jota got both goals, so I guess those are the 2 contenders for man of the match. But in talking of Bruno Fernandes and talking of players that were off their game tonight, it's got to be said, Cristiano Ronaldo. This guy doesn't need to prove anything. He's Cristiano Ronaldo, for goodness sake. He's one of the best players in the world, and he's scored consistently in his career. But today, it just all went against him. I don't know what happened, and it just couldn't quite happen for him. There was a chance where it was offside, and it was a wonderful, wonderful ball just stroked to him, and he was offside, so it wouldn't have counted, but he just completely missed the ball and just wasn't able to get a shot in the right direction, and he kind of scuffed the attempt. I don't really know what happened there, to be honest, but there was a point when Serbia got that first goal back, and we just lost our discipline. We were picking up silly yellows, giving away fouls, and ultimately Serbia were just coming after us, wave after wave, shot after shot, and we just couldn't contain it. And then, you know, it's really good goalkeeping from Lopez. That is what we love to see from him. You know, he's in there to try and defend that goal with Patricio not being there, and it's a wonderful, wonderful piece of goalkeeping. I mean, that shot, to be fair, from Tadic is absolutely brilliant. On the volley, catches it so sweetly, and it's actually an even better save after the nick off Cedric. That is just brilliant from Lopez. And then, you know, with Lopez, you feel he's definitely got talent, but maybe he should have done better in the second goal. I don't know. It's a hard one because he's sliding in. He's trying to make himself big, but it's incredible that Serbia, with a collection of passes, get back in it. And they did have actually a really good chance before that with a header from a corner from Milinkovic-Savic, just inches wide. And it was one of those moments. We were under the cosh. We were breathing a sigh of relief, and we just couldn't get it down into Serbia's half. It was all Serbia's pressure, and, you know, they did deserve to get back into it, but I don't know what happened because we were so in control, and suddenly we just completely all over the place. So, yeah, they have their equaliser, and it's a goal from a great series of passes. You know, you could just see that goal coming. The way that Serbia played it, the way that pressure was just being mounted on top of us, and it was just like, oh man, really? You know, 2-0 up and we've thrown it away. And, you know, it's good ball in from the Serbia players. But, you know, defensively, we were a bit light tracking back. And Kostic has the goal, steers it in. And it's so frustrating because you see the defender sliding in, takes a nick off him, trying to clear it and trying to block it. But it goes past Lopez, 2-2, 60 minutes in. And we have 4 goals in an incredible turn of events in that second half. So it really was just a test of character for us. You know, we went into that thinking, okay, this is going to be a tough game, but hopefully we win. But ultimately, when you're 2-0 up, you feel like you should see it through. And, you know, I don't think it's even Portugal having a terrible game, but just Serbia, out of nowhere, they came into the game and just looked really good. So it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, and, you know, it is feeling like a loss right now. You know, it's still a good point. Serbia are the best team in this group, and ultimately we weren't going to find it easy tonight, but it was hopeful for a win. and it just couldn't happen today. But, you know, it's a test of character. We were hoping when it was 2-2, we'd push on and we would actually, you know, snap into a bit of, you know, self-doubt and say, actually, I tell you what, we can't be having this. We've got to, you know, take the initiative and get the third to cancel out Serbia's comeback. But we couldn't do that. And Serbia just kept playing with their tails up, with confidence, with momentum. And then a few chances came along. And, you know, Mitrovic, he really could have had an opening. He just slalomed his way through our defence. But then, really important block from Ruben Diaz. That is what we want to see. Last-ditch stuff. And it's just so scary, man, when a game changes that drastically. And it's just so hard to call. But then it happened, and our defence did have to get desperate. We had to clear it away. I mean, Ronaldo was fuming at the end. He did miss chances in that game. You know, the one where he could have maybe got it on target from a pullback from Bernardo Silva, and obviously the chance I mentioned where he was offside and he kind of missed it. And he was fuming, and I would be fuming if I was Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's get to that at the end. But first, we were just trying to clear it away, and I think Serbia at this point were just smashing their attempts away. They didn't really care. They were willing to gamble and just have a shot. But it's all very well we trying to do that, but if we're not getting in their half, we can't even take that risk. So ultimately, is it our problem that we didn't get a second, you know, third goal in the second half? Maybe, but ultimately Serbia were just too hard to stop, and we couldn't get a chance, and we just didn't look fluid going forward in the second half. First half, we looked an amazing team, but second half, I don't know what happened. Just looking really leggy and not really many ideas. You know, Ronaldo, I said his shooting boots weren't on tonight, and it just was one of those days he was unlucky. But you do feel we had to create more openings in that second half. With so much of that possession, we weren't making the most of it, and we just ran out of ideas towards the end of that second half. And Serbia, well, they looked like they would score every single time they came forward. So I think there was a point towards the end of the game, 89, 88 minutes in, where both teams were erring on the side of caution. They didn't want to throw away what they'd already had. But, you know, it's ultimately a disappointment. And the most disappointing thing about this game, when Serbia, you know, have a horrible tackle, and it could be a very bad injury, but luckily not for Danilo Pereira, who I thought had a great game tonight in the middle of the park. It's an awful challenge from Milenkovic, the man who, of course, was outmuscled by Jota for the goals on both occasions. He just slides in recklessly, studs up on Danilo, and there's no way that's never going to be a red card. So it has to be a red. And then from that passage of play, Serbia get a free kick. I'm sorry, but that is just not even fair, not logical. Danny McKaylee, I'm not sure what you're thinking there, mate. But then the big moment of the game, and I said I'd refer to this, I will now. We have a goal in the back of the net, cross the line, but it's no goal. And this is, my friends, a big tournament. It's the World Cup qualifiers. I'm fuming, because how, first of all, do you not have Hawkeye? Hawkeye, just Hawkeye, that's all I want. Goal line technology, Hawkeye. It's a basics of games, and these aren't, you know, some League 2 games. These aren't some, you know, Sunday League matches. These are international qualifiers for the World Cup. And you're telling me we got no VAR, no Hawkeye, and no goal line technology. All right, maybe not VAR, because some clubs don't have the, you know, level of money, the experience and the economy and the, you know, development of technology to have that in their stadiums. But Hawkeye, that should be in every game. It's like Lampard against Germany. Like, how can you not have Hawkeye? It's basic to find out if there's a goal. Now, the referee, I'm sorry, if that was me, maybe I would have said he's cleared it in time. But on the replays, can't they look at back on replays? They had it on Sky about a few times. Sky red button. No? You can't look back on the replays? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And, you know, we have that chance with Ronaldo, and it's a hopeful ball, but it's a great one because he gets a lot of distance on it, and the goalie comes out, thinks he's going to be able to get it, and he doesn't. And Ronaldo is always in the right place at the right time, and he gets enough power on it to sneak in. He just takes it down, dribbling past onto the goal line, and it's cleared away. And then, yeah, it's an absolute outrage because it is a goal. It should be a goal. It has passed. I know it's tight, but it has the whole ball past the line. So it's an absolute outrage. And then from that, we get a chance where they clear it. It comes back out to us. We shoot, and then off the line again. Another clearance off the line. It's just incredible, and it's just completely ridiculous that there's not goal line technology and outrageous in an international game of this caliber. So I'll admit, second half, we didn't cover ourselves in glory. Not many Portugal opportunities for us to take from that second half. First half, we looked a fluid team. I wish we'd have played like that throughout the whole game, but it just feels like a loss when we were 2-0 up and we throw it away, and then when we get back our win, but then that's taken away from us by goal line technology, no goal line technology, and Ronaldo was fuming, understandably, strips off the captaincy, runs off in a tantrum. And I tell you what, people say, why does he have a tantrum? Well, that's because he cares. He cares about his club. He is going to be passionate to be the best of his ability. He's going to work to improve himself. Tonight, it wasn't one of his finest. And you know that he's going to be on the training ground tomorrow, 2 a.m, trying to work on that. Because he is always striving for the best. And he's trying to help his team here. And that just simply is a goal. So, say what you like. Ronaldo, I think, is always going to be tough because he's a very competitive man. And he's going to be reacting to that differently to different people. But if that's anyone else, I'm sorry, they should be obliged to react in that way. It is a goal, in my opinion. So, it's crazy when you think about it. The follow-up is also blocked. And we don't have our goal. But we got the point. And it's a game against Serbia. We got the point against 10 men. But, you know, Serbia had 11 men for so much of it. It was very, very late on, that red card. So, frustrating, annoying. Man of the match to me has to be Jota, just because the influence he had in that first half. Obviously, second half, the whole team seemed to just fall asleep a little bit and not really have the same influence. But he was brilliant and scored 2 picture book goals. But yeah, second half, it just went downhill. And I thought Lopez was actually quite good, despite conceding 2 goals. We just need to take much more encouragement from that first half and take it through the games, because if we do, you know, fall away like that and we just let teams back in it, it really will be a detrimental thing for us, and we can't do that in the Euros come the summer. So hope that's a learning curve, and it's still a point. We're still second, not bad, but let's win against Luxembourg on Tuesday.